Vegan side effect. Feeling the angel's approval? You deserve it.
Our programs offer many languages. Please visit suprememastertv.com/schedule.
Nos programmes offrent plusieurs langues. Veuillez visiter suprememastertv.com/schedule.
Nuestros programas ofrecen varios idiomas. Visite suprememastertv.com/schedule.
برامجنا متوفرة بالعديد من اللغات. يرجى زيارة suprememastertv.com/schedule.
In the attainment of mastery or adeptship, the conscious control of all force and manipulation of substance are dependent first upon the acknowledgement of your own individual God Self. Please continue watching for the revealed spiritual mysteries of Ascended Master Saint Germain, Vegetarian, as recorded by Guy W. Ballard.
Hauska Tavata, this is how the sincere people of Finland would welcome you, saying nice to meet you in Finnish. Benevolent viewers, I'm Kirsi. The citizens of prosperous Finland take their hats off to your nobility and generosity as you adopt the vegan diet, making you a hero of our time. May God bestow endless blessings upon you and yours. Welcome to God Flame, the source of perfection, from the unveiled mysteries by the Ascended Master Saint Germain, Vegetarian, Part 2 of 2 on Words of Wisdom. Guy Warren Ballard was a United States mining engineer and co-founder, together with his wife Edna Ann Wheeler Ballard, of the I Am spiritual movement, inspired by his life-changing meeting with the Ascended Master Saint Germain. One morning in 1930, Mr. Ballard, led subconsciously by his inner spiritual longing, went on a hike on beautiful Mount Shasta, located in the western US, where, according to legend, a group of divine adepts reside or could be seen. His sincerity and deep longing for the truth led to a profound experience that day. He was blessed by the appearance of the beloved Master, Saint Germain. Following this enlightening encounter, Mr. Ballard devoted his life to spreading the Master's wisdom according to his capacity. From Master Saint Germain's dictations and teachings, Mr. Ballard wrote a series of books under the pseudonym Godfrey Ray King. Master Saint Germain's imparted spiritual knowledge was the basis for many lectures given by Mr. Ballard, as well as for the founding of the I Am religious activity in the early 1930s. By 1938, it had up to 1 million followers. Today, the volumes documenting the valuable mysteries revealed by the Ascended Master to Godfrey Ray King are still a fascinating spiritual gem for many across the globe. The 3 most famous volumes are titled Unveiled Mysteries, The Magic Presence, and The I Am Discourses. Ascended Master Saint Germain is deeply venerated among the Theosophical Society as he represents the establishment of the Aquarian Age, an era that we are privileged to be witnessing. He is also identified with the Count of Saint Germain, a mysterious European figure who possessed a great inner knowledge and was called immortal by some due to his everlasting youth. Let us now continue with the reading of an excerpt from Godfrey Ray King's book, Unveiled Mysteries. The following is more of the wise teachings by Saint Germain as told to his journey companion Mr. Ballard before the two part ways, and how even afterwards the adept's presence still doesn't leave his friend. Excerpt from Chapter 2, The Sahara Desert. Recognition, conscious direction, and constructive use of the God energy maintained within oneself at all times is the way of perfection, mastery, and dominion over all things on earth, including the conscious control of all natural forces. The instruction I have been giving you will erase completely all false beliefs if maintained. The rapidity with which it is accomplished depends upon how continuously, persistently, and deeply you feel and associate with your God Self. In the attainment of mastery or adeptship, the conscious control of all force and manipulation of substance are dependent first upon the acknowledgement of your own individual God self, second upon perfect calmness of feeling under all circumstances, and third, one must be past all temptation of misusing power. The stilling of all emotions at the command of the conscious will is imperative, and the demand for it in the adept is unconditional if dominion is to be attained. It does not mean a repression of discord within one's self at any time, but is a stilling and harmonizing of the feelings, no matter what the circumstances are which surround the mind or body of the student. Such control is not an easy thing for humanity in the Western world because the temperament of most people in the Occident is sensitive, emotional, and impulsive. This characteristic is energy of tremendous power. It must be controlled, held in reserve, and released only through conscious direction for the accomplishment of something constructive. Until the waste of energy is checked and completely governed, the individual cannot and never will make permanent progress. The student often asks if one reaches a point while still on the path of attainment where he rises above the use of affirmation. When an individual sincerely uses affirmation, he brings about a full acceptance of the truth of whatever he affirms, for its use is but to focus the attention of the outer mind so steadily upon the truth that he accepts it fully in his feelings, because feeling is the actual God energy released, which manifests the truth affirmed. The continued use of affirmation brings one to the point where he has such deep realization of the truth in anything he affirms that he is no longer conscious of it as an affirmation. One uses an affirmation, mantra, or prayer because he desires something made manifest. Right desire is the deepest form of prayer. Thus, by the use of affirmation, the student raises his outer self into the full acceptance of its truth and generates the feeling by which it becomes a thing manifest. In this deep acceptance comes the manifestation, for through concentration, the spoken word begins to cause instantaneous activity. My gratitude to Saint Germain for all I had received was too deep for words. He read my thoughts and feelings as one reads a book, and so we both sat silent for some few moments in perfect attunement. He roused me from my reverie to watch the gorgeous colors in the western sky, the sunset's afterglow. I wanted to remain on the mountain all night and return home in the morning, enjoying the sunrise. I had no sooner felt the desire than a beautiful sleeping bag lay at my feet. It was unlike anything I have ever seen. I reached down to examine the unusual fabric of which it was made, and to my astonishment found it glowing and warm. I looked up, and Saint Germain smilingly extended to me a crystal cup filled with golden liquid about the consistency of honey. Obedient to his slightest wish, I drank it, and instantly a radiant glow passed through my body. When I had finished, the cup disappeared in my hand. "Oh, why could I not keep this lovely creation?" I asked in surprise. "Patience, my son," he answered. "Are not your desires being fulfilled one by one? Your sleeping bag will remain until daybreak, and your friend, the panther, will guard you during the night." Bowing slightly and with a smile that was graciousness itself, his body became gradually indistinct and then disappeared entirely. I lay down in the lovely bag and was soon fast asleep. As the rosy tints of dawn touched the eastern horizon, I awoke, and the first thought in my mind was concerning the bag, which I had so much enjoyed. With that thought, it vanished back into the universal substance from which it had come. The panther came toward me, and together we turned our footsteps homeward. After walking for some distance, the sound of men's voices caught our ears. The animal sniffed the air, suddenly stopped directly in front of me and looked up. I reached down and petting him, said, "Now you may go." He bounded away into the thickly wooded section of the mountain to the right of the trail. I continued on my way without further incident and at last reached my lodgings shortly after noon in a state of mind hard to find words to describe. I wanted to think, contemplate, digest, and become adjusted to an entirely new set of ideas. The unusual yet very real experiences through which I had passed within the 48 hours just preceding were causing me to reorder my entire world. I was happy in the extreme, and yet it seemed as if another universe had manifested itself around me. There was the same old prosaic world on the outside that I had always known to be sure, and yet was it? Within it all the time had been these wonderful experiences, this tremendous power, these marvelous revelations of freedom and dominion over all manifestation, of which I had been so totally unaware. I had been surrounded all my life by these seeming miracles, to which in my previous years I was as oblivious as if no such thing existed in creation. I thought and thought deeper and deeper than I had ever contemplated anything before in my whole existence. The dinner hour arrived, but I was not hungry. However, to begin the evening meal, I ordered a glass of milk. It was served, and a few moments later, as I tasted it, imagine my astonishment to find that it had become the same creamy liquid Saint-Germain had first given me. I finished the meal, returned home, and was preparing my bath before retiring, when suddenly the familiar electrical signal thrilled me from head to foot. Involuntarily, I held out my hand, and in a few seconds, a small cake of crystal-like substance formed in the palm. I somehow knew this was to be put in my bath, and had no more than dropped the substance into the water. Then it immediately bubbled and sparkled as though alive. I stepped in, and a tingling sensation thrilled every cell in my body. I felt charged with a high-powered electrical current that illumined and strengthened my whole being. My bath finished, I lay down and soon dropped into a dreamless sleep. For more information on the Ascended Master Saint-Germain, the Iron Teachings, and Godfrey Ray King's books, please visit saintgermainfoundation.org or saintgermainfoundation.ch. Generous viewers, we appreciate your kind presence for today's Words of Wisdom. Coming up next is Honoring the Heroic Firefighters, Only the Brave and Ladder 49, right after noteworthy news. Please stay tuned to Supreme Master Television for more constructive programming. May you bathe in truth, dignity, and spiritual depth while in God's eternal melody.
Vegan, 'cause we don't have the heart to hurt anyone.
Our programs offer many languages. Please visit suprememastertv.com/schedule and suprememastertv.com/WOW.